times, just got the wrong color here, 3.01 times 10 to the 22 atoms. So you have a conversion chart there at the top. It should, so atoms are really, you can really think of atoms as molecules, particles. So there are 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms in 1 mole. And the only thing to do here is take this number on the left divided by this number on the bottom here. Are you comfortable doing that in your calculator? Do you want me to show you how to do that? What would be best for you?
Yeah, could you show me maybe?
Sure. So I've got a TI-83. It will be slightly different if you've got a TI-84. So I'm going to give me just a moment to get that pulled up. All right, so a couple of things about the TI-83 that I don't know if your TI-84 has. I cannot make fractions, so I have to end up entering it this way, and I'll show you that here in a moment. 3.0122 times 10 caret 22 slash, and then I have to add another parentheses for this bottom one here, 6.02 times 10 caret 23 close parentheses. So let me share that screen here and show you how to work through that. So again, just I got there's a virtual calculator up here. 3.011. Except I didn't get the 3 there, so I'm going to do a second INS. That's insert. It's no touch screen here. Times. Sorry, I'm clicking here. 10 caret 22. And then divided by fraction bar 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd power. And you get 0.05 moles of magnesium.
Okay.
Now in yours, if you've got like a TI-84, I don't recall if it's got the fraction button built in. I'm not sure, but I'd recommend working it out, see if you get something similar.
Yeah, I don't think I don't really have a calculator that's like that.
You definitely can't use the phone very well. The next best thing here, and I'll throw this in the chat, is the Desmos Scientific. This one's more kind of what we're used to seeing. So let me show you how to use that. I guess that might be more useful here because we're gonna need to do this the entire lesson. So this is just some basic stuff here. Let me open up a new tab here, get loaded on that. All right, so now if I go to that, the Desmos Scientific, it's more of what we expect, fraction bar 3.011 times 10 to the 22 power. I'm just typing this in, but you can get all the, the exponents are here and things like that. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. You can see there is your answer.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So I would recommend using this. They've got an app on the phone, a little more modern than, TI-83s. Okay, we need to get back to doing some problems so we actually get through, most of this assignment here. It is more of a conversion assignment than anything. Like there's not a ton of like math or even chemistry. You're just converting a bunch of things. So let me get that up here. Get that started here. So, all right. How many, number 2, sometimes they just look complicated. Get this one snipped in. How many molecules are there in 4 moles of glucose? So you start by writing the given quantity, 4 moles, and it's up to you if you want to write the C6H12O6, but you always put the new unit down here. So in 1 mole, there are 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. That's Avogadro's number. The moles cancel, you're left with that. And again, you can go to that Desmos Scientific, or you can do it, handheld calculator. Doesn't matter. They just want the right answer. You do have to be able to convert to scientific notation, but the Desmos does it for you, which
Yeah.
could be good, could be bad, depending on that. Now, you do have to give units, molecules of glucose.
Okay. How do I do the 23 next to the 10 in the
See the A to the B?
yeah.
That's what you're going to use. That'll put an
Oh,
exponent
okay.
there.
Oh, I see. Um,
Any questions on that?
I'm trying
Did,
to
or did you get this? I guess that's probably more important. Did you get this answer?
I'm trying to do the calculator. It's like not letting me divide the one.
You don't have to divide by 1 because the division by 1 doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't change the number.
Okay, and then what do I click to find my answer? Because when I press the blue button, it just like
Yeah, it went to a new line. It should be on the right hand side. So let me go share that one more time so you can see it. So so I would do something that's 4 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, like that, and then your answer is there on the right.
oh, it won't
The,
work
the,
for some reason.
the just really carefully check that you've got what I've written here.
Yeah, I have exactly what you have. It just something's wrong with mine, but
Maybe reload the page and try again.
yeah, let
Be
me
an
try it
option.
again. Okay, 4 times 6.
Another option, I guess, is to do, I don't know how to, let's see here. We can put in a fraction bar and then over the 1, like maybe if you've got it like
Okay,
that.
it's working. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I got the same answer. Okay.
Okay, let's look at number 3 now.
Yeah.
So the thing that maybe isn't been made clear is that when it says atoms or molecules, they all mean the same thing. Atoms and molecules are essentially the same thing. So that you start with the given quantity, the 1.2 times 10 to the 25. And I like to write the units atoms here. And
Yeah.
then on the bottom, it's got to be atoms.
Yeah.
So 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms in 1 mole. That's what we're going to. And so in terms of like what you put in the calculator, it's 1.2 times 10 to the 25 divided by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd power. So go ahead and I guess try that. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't share my other screen. Oh, frustrating. Okay, sorry. I'd been talking through this problem the whole time, and now you can see it. But this is what I'd like you to try entering into the calculator and see what you come up with.
Okay, so okay. And then yeah, and when I divide it, it just like won't let me make a new add a new. It just like when I click divide, it puts it under the 23
Okay,
next to
so
10.
one solution to this is to, let me share that screen, is to show the division first. So to like do the division first, and then you get a top and a bottom, and then you can enter them in that way. 1.2 times 10 to the 25, and then you got to hit the down arrow to get down there. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, like that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So you should get about 19.9
Yeah.
moles, just like you see there, and the calculation.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay, fantastic. Let's look at another one here.
Yeah.
Next one is how many atoms are in 0.75 moles of zinc. So we haven't needed the periodic table yet. We will in the next part, but
Yeah.
for now, again, just start with the given quantity, 0.750 moles,
Mhm.
and then you put moles on the bottom,
Mhm.
and 1 mole is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms.
Yeah.
Okay, so this time you're just multiplying the 0.750 times the 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd
Okay.
atoms.
So 6.2. 4.515 times 10 to the 23rd.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
And then you got to get the right units at the end here, atoms.
Yeah.
All right, so let's keep going here. So the next one is same. Now it's just molecules instead of atoms, but the expression for whatever this is N2O5, which I couldn't tell you. It doesn't really matter. You start with the given quantity, 4.4 moles times in 1 mole. How many molecules are there? Well, it's 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules.
Mhm.
So you're just going to multiply those two numbers together and see what you come up with.
Okay. Mm. 2.408.
Good. Times 10 to the 23rd.
Yeah.
And that's molecules.
Mhm. Okay, perfect.
All right, so on to some new stuff now. Slightly more challenging. You will need that periodic table, I think,
Yeah.
here. How many moles are, okay, so a couple of ways to do number 6. In terms of that CO2, you got to find the molar mass of CO2.
Mhm.
So that means you got to go to your periodic table. And if you don't have one that you like, I can point you to one, but
Yeah, I have one.
you have one. Okay, I need to pull one up here. You have to find the mass of carbon,
Mhm.
which I think is 12, and then O2,
Yeah.
which means there's 2
2.
times 16. Like I'm not gonna get caught up on those decimal points. They're
Yeah.
really not that important, but you need the total here. So it's 12 plus 32, which is 44. And that's grams per mole.
Yeah.
So you start out by writing 28 grams.
Mhm.
Okay, and if you want, you can put the CO2 in times how many grams are in 1 mole. Well, we just found it. It's
Mhm.
44 grams per mole. So you have to take that 28 and divide it by the 14.
Mhm.
Or
Okay.
44, 20 divided by 44. So it's 0.64 moles is your answer.
Okay.
So how comfortable with you are you finding the elements on the periodic table, finding their
I'm
mass?
comfortable with that. Yeah, I can
Oh,
do
great,
that.
great. So let's do, is the goal to get through both sides of this sheet?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just look ahead here a little bit, see what's on the other side. Okay. Yeah, we're doing fine. So again, 5 moles. So you always need the molar mass of this. So you got to go to your periodic table and find what that is. There are calculators out there that will do this for you. But like I struggle to find them. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can shortcut this a little bit. FE203. So this one, FE is 56-ish, but there's 2 of them. O is the 16 and there's 3 of them, and that it's approximately 160. So you start by writing 5 moles. Okay, and then on the bottom here, it's always got to match. So 1 mole is 160 grams. So 5 times 160 is about 800 grams. So again, whatever's on the top will cancel with whatever's on the bottom.
Okay.
All right, number 8. All right, find the number of moles of argon and 452 grams of argon. So you got to find the molar mass of argon. And I couldn't tell you.
I'd say like it's 39.948, so
Yeah.
maybe 39.9-ish.
Sure. I'm gonna go 40 just to keep it simple. But yeah, you can use it depends on your teacher if they want you to be accurate out to a bunch of decimal places.
Yeah.
But you start out with the given amount, 452 grams. Grams now goes on the bottom. That's what you just found, 40 grams in 1 mole. And so there's your number of moles. You have to divide 452 by 40. That's about 11.3 moles of argon. Okay, so a couple of maybe some more difficult ones here. We'll see. All right, so they're not being very helpful here. MOL does refer to moles. You gotta be careful not to mix that with molecules. So we got 4 H's. That takes care of those. 2 C's and 2 O's. So 4 times 1, 2 times 12, 2 times 36. Again, like if you don't want to do all that, I'll throw this in the chat here. This is a molar mass calculator, especially for homework. And you're going to be doing a bunch of these types of calculations. So this one is that's not right. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 2 times 16, not 36. I was like, why isn't that working? So this is about 60. So we got 1.26 times 10 to the minus 4th moles. Moles on the bottom. 1 mole is 60 grams. So you got to multiply the 1.26 times 10 to the minus 4 times 60, and that's 0.00756 grams.
Perfect.
All right, next one here. All right. So lithium bromide. Now I don't know what lithium bromide is. I guess it's LiBr. But I would, see, since I'm not a chemistry expert, I would always check that is actually what it is. Wonderful thing out there, Google. and see if that's actually what it is. You probably know, but I don't. So it looks like it is just LIBR. So 2.6 moles of that times 1 mole, need the molar mass of it. And that's where looks like it's lithium is 8, bromide is 92-ish. No, I'm sorry, it's 7. So I got these way off. 7 and 80. So it ends up being about 87 grams. What do we got here? 226 grams. All right, any questions before we flip the page, go to something
No,
new?
this is all making sense.
Good. All right. The first page had a conversion that we didn't use yet, and that's what we're going to use here in this problem. Determine the volume in liters occupied by 0.03 moles of a gas at STP. That stands for standard temperature and pressure, and I don't know what they are, but that's the wording. 0.030 moles. So do we have a mole to volume, or like in this case, is 1 mole a certain number of liters?
Yeah, it's 22.4 liters.
Exactly. So a good question might be, to your instructor, do we have to memorize these conversions, or will they be given to us? Or, what's my, what do I have to do here? And always good to know that going in. So 0.03 times 22.4 is 0.672 liters. Like that.
Okay.
So number 12 is going the other direction. How many moles of argon atoms are present in 11.2 liters of argon? So you start with the given quantity, 11.2 liters, and then you need to go from liters to moles, 22.4 liters in 1 mole. So this ends up being just 0.5 moles. The fact that it says argon atoms that's included in the moles. It's moles. Moles is the collection of atoms. It's like saying a dozen bagels. You use dozen to make it simpler than saying 12. 13. So again, 0.05 moles, use the one that's given. Moles go on the bottom. 1 mole is 22.4 liters. It's the same for all of them. It's meaning like it's always 22.4. So that's 1.12 liters.
Okay.
You want to try number 14 on your own? See what you come up with?
26.88 liters.
Good. Very good.
Okay.
All right, so the next grouping of questions here, this mixed mole conversions. One of the things that they really don't emphasize enough is that you really want to get everything into moles. That's usually like that leads you to a lot of different places. Like you really want to get something into moles. You're going to use that later in the course where you compare the number of moles of one thing to another. So when they ask you a problem like 15, which I'm going to snip in here, they're hoping that you recognize you can't go from one to the other. Like you have to go through moles to get to the desired unit. So I had this chemistry teacher. He called it Moleville, for lack of a better word. It's like when you travel, you always have to go through a certain town. I don't know if that helps, but you're starting with volume. Okay, that's a volume. And you want to go to, your goal is to get 2 molecules, but you can't do it directly. You have to convert it into moles.
Yeah.
Okay, so the point is you can't do it all in one step, but the first 14 problems you have been able to. So how do you go from liters to moles? It's that 22.4 liters in 1 mole. All right, so that's thing 1. You can keep going though here because your answer's in moles. In 1 mole are how many molecules? Well, the 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay. Now, in terms of what you put into that calculator, you can put in exactly as we have here, like 3.36 fraction bar 1 over 22.4 times fraction bar this over 1. You can also shortcut it a little bit by putting the 3.36 on the top times the 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd also on the top, all over 22.4. So give that a try. I mean, probably the hardest part here is to put this into the calculator and make it work. I think you can do it. So
um 9.03 times 10 to 22.
okay, and the units are molecules. The units are almost just as important as the answer, depending on who's grading it. So just try to cross them out and even look for the one that it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to number 16. 16 here. Find the mass in grams. Find the mass in grams of 2 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. So you're starting with molecules. And your goal is to get to grams. And so that means you've got to go to moles in between.
Yeah.
So you start with the given quantity. And then that's in molecules. And there are 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules in 1 mole times. And then in 1 mole, we need to figure out how many grams there are. So you got to go look up F on your chart there.
What? 19 for, oh wait, hold on.
So there's 2 of them.
So that would be 38.
38, yeah. And you can see that molecules cancels on the left. Molecules there, the moles cancel moles. So grams is what's remaining. Go ahead and give that calculation a try. Let me know what you come up with.
Oh, whoops.
Any questions on how to do the calculation or?
No, I was gonna redo it because it was not in a fraction or on 2. Okay. 12 point, I don't know if that's right.
It is like 12.6.
Yeah.
Yep. So one of the problems with chemistry, and you see this a little bit more in later in physics, is like sometimes the quantities don't mean much to you.
Mhm.
First of all, because it's in metric. I mean, we don't buy anything in this country in metric very
Yeah.
often. So like, what is 12.6 grams? I don't know. Like, I couldn't tell you like is an
Mhm.
apple 12.6 grams or is a I don't know, a carrot, a 12.6 grams. I don't know, but just trust yourself when you do the calculations.
Mhm.
Know that you probably do them correctly.
Yeah.
Redo them when you're unsure. So those are just some tips. So let's look at 17. Again, probably good to draw kind of this little like chart progression.
Yeah.
It's like going to Google Maps and saying, how do I get somewhere? That's what we're doing here. So you got to know what you're starting with. You're starting with grams, and your goal is to get to volume. And you always go to the moles in between. So grams to moles, moles to volume.
Mhm.
So it's 14 grams of nitrogen.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, how many grams of nitrogen are in 1 mole of nitrogen? And I guess nitrogen gas is N, but I don't know. I would check that.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
not like N2.
Oh wait, nitrogen, actually I think that's, yeah, no, I think it's just N.
So I'm looking it up. I don't know. I see N2 potentially.
Yeah, N2, yeah, it's N2 because it's a diatomic, so yeah, N2.
Yes, yes. So that means you've got to double the nitrogen 2 times the, is it 14 for nitrogen or is
Yeah.
that carbon? Okay. So now that you got that, it's was it 28 grams in 1 mole? And then volume in 1 mole, how many liters?
Mhm.
22.4.
Mhm. Okay.
Any questions on that before we move to the next one there?
I got it.
Okay. The mixed mole conversions, those are more of what you're going to see on the test. It'd be my
Yeah.
guess. So again, they're giving you molecules,
Mhm.
and your goal is to get to mass in grams, and that means you got to go through moles to get there.
Mhm.
Start with the given amount, 1 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. And there are 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules in 1 mole. So now we've done that part. And then to go to mass, we need to know that in 1 mole, there are how many grams of N2. I actually just calculated that. I'm surprised they doubled up on that, but they did. Good for you to get a little easier problem there out of it. But yeah, go to your calculator, see what you come up with on that one, please.
4.65.
And what are the units?
And the mass. Is it, grams?
Yeah, you can always go back to what the question is asking. It sort of tells you what to look for.
Okay. All right. I got it. I get it now.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like us to cover today?
No, that was pretty much it.
All right. Well, really would help me if we could stop here.
Yeah, sure.
Can't tell, I'm pretty worn out, but thank you. If I can ever help again, please, let me know. And
yeah, thank you.
I'll see you next time. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
You too. Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Bye-bye.